Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about soft assertions in AssertJ. What are these soft assertions? So sometime in your test you can have multiple assertions, multiple verification steps. And if one particular verification step is failing, you still want your test to run further so that in the end when your test is done executing, you get a consolidated view of what all things are failing in your test. If soft assertions will not be there, then what will happen? The normal assertions that we do. Anytime a step is failing due to assertion, your test will stop there. The remaining steps will not be executed. Let us take an example. So there is an end-to-end test. Okay, so you perform a transaction, and that transaction has like will be displayed in different sections within your application. You have a step for testing one section. You have a step for testing the other section as well. And these of course when you are writing it maybe in a feature file or in a test ng, those assertions, those steps will be in a different line. They can be different assertions for that. So you want that if your first assertion is failing, still the other one run at least, so that in the end when the whole test got executed, you have the complete view of what all things failed in both the sections. Okay, so this is about why we need it. Now how to use it is something like this. I will show you different approaches, but the basic approach is this. Like you have a soft assertion initialization. So this soft assertion is coming from the AssertJ library. Okay, so in your test you are initializing an instance of this soft assertion, and that's how here you are just mentioning that I want to assert on all of these things. So assertion will not execute at this moment. So it is just initializing this softly object, softly instance, what with whatever assertions you need to perform in this particular test. Now when the assertions will actually take place, when this assert all method will be called. Okay, so whenever this assert all method will be called, only at that time these assertions will take place. Let me show you. So if I do this and if I trigger this particular test, you can see there are three conditions, three checks here that we want to check as part of this particular test. And let me show you what happens if we do not use this assert all part. You see the test has passed, but we can see here we are checking whether this 3.14 is close to 3 and within 0.1. That means it is less than 3.1, greater than of course 3 but less than 3.1, but it is not. So as soon as I will do this part and re-trigger the test, so this assertion shall fail, and also this one shall fail because the word is not ending with the L, it is ending with the D. So let us see if there are two failures that we can see. Okay, so we have the first one here to be close to 3 and the second one is also here. So we can see what all two assertions that got failed. If it would have been a normal assertion, let me quickly show you that as well, though it is self-explanatory as well, but yeah, let us demo that part as well. So here I will have something like this. I will have a, of course we can statically import this assertions as well, but yeah, let me quickly do it like this. So if we quickly check it now, this is the difference between what we call a normal assertion, the hard assertion and the soft assertion. So as soon as we will have the first failure, our test will skip. The other two assertions will not be executed. Here we can see, okay, so the test got failed after this assertion was this assertion was failed. So the very first one, once our at runtime this first assertion got failed, the remaining two things didn't get executed. Okay, so that's why we use soft assertion. Now this is for one test. Okay, so if there is some other test, the same thing needs to be repeated as well. Now we can say that why we need like this kind of initializing this soft assertion in every test. Why don't we use the approach of maybe before method and after method hook? But this is not recommended to use it like this, because first thing is, when you will be running your test in say multi-threaded mode, then it will cause the problems of synchronization. Even in the sequential execution as well, we can see the problem. Let me quickly show you. So I have demoed this part here. So for this particular class, maybe I have defined for demo purpose, I have defined a soft assertion instance here. Now during the setup, I am initializing the soft assertion, and here these assertions will be used. Now in the after method, we need to make sure that we first compare all the assertions and then make the instance as null for the previous ones, because if this softly will keep appending all the assertions together, then it will keep adding the assertion from one test to another test as well, which is not a correct way. So what I did, first I tried to implement this like the normal way. Let me quickly show you. So we have this like we are, let me make this null as well, because then it will be initialized again. So with this approach, if it is a single test, let me execute the second one. If you are executing the single test with the soft assertion part, it will get executed as expected. You will see there shall be two failures here as well. Yeah, and the failures will be of course in the tear down part. And if you see here, you can see two failures, right? And now the second thing is, let me show you again. If we execute both the tests together, that's where we can see the synchronization issues happening due to this soft assertion. So let me quickly show you. Here you can see the setup part is not working and tear down part is not working. So there are like different approaches that I have tried, but none of them were working using this way. So the most simple way is to define a soft assertion object within each of your tests. Now talking about the other approach, which is like more efficient, is with the help of lambdas. Okay, so here, like if you are new to the lambda, I have already created a series on the Java 8 topics. You can refer to that. But this one is pretty straightforward. Even if you are not experienced with the functional interfaces, lambdas, it is pretty straightforward. So what you need to do is like we within soft assertion, where here we have a assert softly method which takes a consumer. Okay, and how you can do that? So you can just provide the instance of this soft assertion. Okay, and what is the name, reference variable name, just mention it here, and then just use the same way, softly dot assert that for whatever assertions you need to assert on. Like you can mention like this every of your assertion. Now the benefit of this approach, of course, one, you are not initializing the soft assertions yourself explicitly, it is not required. Implicitly, it is being taken care by this method, right? The second benefit, we are not explicitly calling the assert all method as well. That is also being taken care by this particular method. So here We already have that benefit where we were thinking of using the approach of at the rate after method, at the rate before method to do tear down and set up for the soft assertion. So that part will not be needed because we have this particular approach. Now if I execute it, let me quickly show you that. Both of tests shall be executed. There should not be any synchronization issues, and this is thread safe as well. So here you can see the first test displayed the failures of first test, and in second test we shall have the failure of the second test, right? So there as well we have two failures. The first one here you can see, okay, soft assertion test 2, yeah. This one is failing, and also this one is also failing, and this one is passing. That's why. Okay. So that's all for this video, guys. I'll be coming with the more topics about AssertJs. There are a lot of other important features as well which we can use in our daily test automation. So stay tuned for that. And in case you're liking the content that I'm making, please do like, share, and do subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you.